Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial we'll be doing a kid's dress, and please, if you've not liked or subscribed this video or this channel, please do subscribe for more videos. Thank you. And in this tutorial we'll be using just 1.5 yard of fabric. It will enable you do this beautiful dress we're about to make now. And we'll also be needing a scissors, a ruler, measurements that is required, and we'll need chalk. I'll use any of these colors that will be visible for you to see clearly. Next up, I'll be folding my fabric, as in I'll place it on fold so that we can begin. It's going to be a freehand tutorial. Okay, now my fabric is unfold. I'm going to begin with the front. It's folded that wide because it's an A-line dress. I want it wide at the hem. And here I'm making a line of 1 inch from the edge of the fabric to enable me have other vertical measurement, to have is a particular point where I can get all my measurement being done. Afterwards, I'll start up with the length of the dress. The length of the dress is 26, but I'm going to take 28. It's 26.5. I'm going to take 28 for the allowance that I'll be needing. After taking the length of the dress, I'll begin. Okay, now after taking the length, we'll be taking the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 11. So we'll be dividing it by 2, just as we do for the adult. Afterwards, we have 5.5 as our shoulder measurement. That's what I'm marking out, as you can see. And the neck width of the dress is 3. I'm taking 3 inches. And then my shoulder slant, I'll come down by 0.5 because he's a child. And then here I am using my ruler to join the 2 points, my neckline and the 0.5 inches I came down by. Okay, now I'm taking the armscye depth, and this is 5. After doing my calculations, I got 5 as my answer. That's because I didn't add 0.5. I just simply did the chest circumference divided by 6 plus 1, because I'm not going to put sleeves and I don't want the armhole to be that too open. So that's what you do. You can go through my body's measurements and how to draft your body's pattern, and you'll see more of what I'm talking about. And then I'm taking the shoulder measurement as well, so that I could have a straight line from the top to where I have it marked out. So afterwards, we are going to be taking the bust circumference after our division. Okay, now our bust circumference is 24.5, and after dividing by 4, we have 6.1. But because I want a little ease at that point, I'll just add up 0.4 to it. So I'll have like 6.5. So I'm marking out the 6.5 and I'll use my ruler to mark it out. But before then, I'll have to mark out how wide I want it to be. I'll take like 12 and see how it goes, but you can make yours smaller. Or on the other hand, I'm going to make it like 11, I think. 11 would do for me. But you can make yours smaller or wider than what we have here. So now I'm trying to adjust it to like 11 inches. I'm making sure that what what I've said is what I'm taking, and then making sure that that's what it really is. That is 11 inches. Then I'm marking it out straight to meet that point. Afterwards, what we'll be doing after this is doing the curve. Mind you, this is the back of the dress. We'll use the back to cut the front piece of the dress. I'm marking out my allowance 1.5 inches. That's how much allowance I would love to have in this dress. And afterwards, it's done. We'll mark out the neckline, any neckline of your choice, and you just cut it out. Place your fabric, the leftover, unfold and cut out your front. The dress, I told you, it wouldn't take you so much time. But now I'll do some adjustment at the hem so that it will not just kick that way. I just want it a little curvy at the edge. So I'm marking out like 1 inch and blending to the center back. That's what I did there. And then we'll mark out our neckline. The width, of course, I said is 3. And then the depth of it, since it's at the back, it will be 1.5 inches. That's what I'm placing it. That's what I'm going to use for this dress, 1.5 inches at the back of the dress. And then I'll keep my 0.5 inches allowance for the sewing of it. And at the shoulder, I'm also keeping 0.5 inches. This dress will not take you up to 30 minutes for the cutting and the sewing. It's a very simple dress, beginners friendly. Then I'm cutting out. I'll cut out because this is all. I'll just cut it out now and you'll see. I'll use the back to cut the front as I said initially. Alright, for the front, we have kept our fabric on fold, and I'm going to measure out 3.5 inches away from the center front. I'll mark this out straight to the hem where we will have the dress to stop the length at which the dress is. Then we place the back we had already cut. From that point, those points we marked out, as though you're keeping allowance for your zipper. And then I'll just pin it up and cut it out. The only adjustment I will do is I'm going to come in after cutting. I'll have to come in at the armhole since the armhole at the front is not same as that of the back. So I'll come in a bit in front after cutting it. Okay, now before I cut it out, I'm going to mark out my neckline at the front. So I'll be taking 3 inches, but I'll mark out 2.5 so that by the time I turn the neck, the neckline, the depth will be 3 inches. So I'm marking out 2.5 inches. So I'm just marking it out, and then I'll do this also at the shoulder point so that by the time I cut the sides, I'll just pull it up and cut out the neckline. Okay, now after cutting, I'm going to mark out where the pleat is meant to start. So now I would love the pleat to start at the chest line. From that point, that's where I would love the pleat to start. So I'll use my ruler, mark out the point, so I can keep like half an inch allowance also, and leave the rest of the allowance where I'll have my key split. The pleat I'm going to use for the dress is going to be a key split. So I would be marking out 0.5 inches from the neckline. The leftover down after the chest line will be used for the pleat. That's the excess will be used to make the key split. This method also can be used to sew for an adult. It's the same thing, it's just the measurement that is different. This same style, I see some adults, they wear it, especially pregnant women, they wear it a lot because it's comfortable. So here's the neckline I'm marking out and cutting out already. So cut out that point where we have a 0.5 inch allowance kept. I'll just cut it out this way. And here is my front. My front is ready. The next thing I'll do is to cut out the the facing. So I'm cutting the facing. For it, I placed the back. This is the back of the dress. I'll place it on a fabric and then trace it out that way, cut it out, and come down by, let me say, 3 inches. Anyhow you want the facing long, but just know that I'm making it that long. I'm not making it short because I want to turn the armhole with the facing, to clean it up with the facing, because I want it sewn in a very neat way, like ready-made, all these ready-made dresses for kids. So I'll use the facing to turn the armhole. That's why I'm making it long, not just for the neckline but also for the armhole. You can make yours lower than how I did mine, or any which way you want it. So here there's going to be a button at the back. So I'm going to open the center front to a particular length, how deep I want it to be. I'm marking out 4.5 for the um buttonhole, as in for the back, where how deep I want it to be so that I can easily enter the child's head. And I did same for the facing. When I'm sewing, before turning it, I'll make a loop where the button will be and before turning it with the facing. So now what we'll do is to cut the front facing. For the front facing, since I don't want it to have that joining where the center front has before the chest line, I'm going to take it away as if it's sewn. I'll just bend it before cutting it out. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm bending it towards the center front, you can see. I'm making sure everything is okay at the armhole, everywhere is equal. Placing that same line where I'm going to sew on the center front, I would have to pin it up so that it can stay and before cutting it out. This is the main reason I'm showing, making sure you see how I cut the facing. Then I'll still cut it in a way that I would be able to use the facing to turn the armhole to make it neat, to give it a very good finishing. So here I'm just pinning it up and then I'll cut. Afterwards we are done and we'll go to the sewing machine and do the rest. If you have actually watched up to this point, please just like this video and share, so that this is what will encourage me to make more videos. Thank you so much. Here I'm just trying to make the arm. I told you at the front we need to enter more because the front is not as wide as the back. So let's get to the sewing machine right away. Okay, first up, I've prepared the loop. It's easy, just get the fabric as small as it can be and sew it and turn it the other way around. And here I went down by 0.5 inches and I'll sew it in place. I'll sew it with the fabric before using the facing to turn it, to turn the neckline and also the opening I made so the child's head can pass through. So here's the facing. I'll face it front to front, as in the right side to right side, and then I'll begin to put it to piece together, turn it. I'm just making sure that the facing matches with the main fabric, and I'll sew according to the allowance I kept at the neckline, at the opening I made for the buttonhole. and also the armhole. Okay, yeah, I'm done sewing this part, so I'm notching my curves. All the curved area, I'll notch them, and I'm sewing the other part of the armhole. Around the neckline as well, I'll notch, and there also I'll notch so that it can lay flat and nice before ironing. I'll prepare it all, use my scissors to punch out the holes, every sharp point to make it sharp, and then I'll press it down with a pressing iron. Okay, here, this is my front. Please pay attention at this point. I'll be sewing the 0.5-inch allowance I kept before doing facing the fabric, using the facet on the fabric. So I'm trying to put the 0. Sew it in place, and I'll stop at that point, the chest line where we have the 3.5 inches we'll use for the pleats. When I open it, when you open it, it should look this way. I would make sure the center front, I'll have to notch the center front so that I'll place that point at the seam. Yeah, something like that. And then use my machine to sew it. I'll sew it straight. You have to make sure you can even use pins to hold it before sewing so that it wouldn't move, and you have equal excess on both sides. That's what I mean. The notched part should be at the seam, and then you just sew it straight. So after sewing, it should look like this. And then you turn it, or you go to your ironing table and iron it. After ironing, we are going to face it the same way we did the back. We'll turn the neckline and the armhole with the facing. Once again, if you haven't subscribed or liked this video, please do like the video. Okay, now I've ironed the front and the back, and this is what they both look like. We're going to start by joining the shoulder. So please watch carefully. This is where the shoulder will be joined, both shoulders will be joined, but it will not be seen even at the back and at the front. So everything will be put inside. That's the main reason I did the facing for it. So just take your time and watch this part. So here I am. I put both back and front, turned it into one of it. But I made sure while sewing the armhole and the neckline of each, I made sure the shoulder were the same. I kept checking with my tape if they were the same measurement. They should fit into each other so that you will not have it squeezed. So I'm just trying to tuck it in, making sure it's okay. If it's not, please, you hold it or you reduce it, whichever way will suit it. So I'm trying to fix it in. I'll sew it, and you would see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. You can see what at the front and at the back is the same thing. So everything is tucked in, and we'll do same for the other part. See where it is being tucked in. You can trim off the excess so that you don't have it bulky at that point. So I'm trimming it off. I'll do same the other part of the other sleeve, the other shoulder. I'll do same at the other shoulder. I'm trimming off every excess so that there will be no bulge. It will not be bulky. So I'm doing same. If you didn't really understand the other one, you can also watch carefully so that you can see how this is done. just turn it inside out. Yeah, and here you open it. Make sure both of them align. If one is bigger than one, hold it, or you free the other one. And when you're holding the neckline and cleaning up the armhole, make sure they are the same, as in they have the same width is matching with the front. Then you will not have any problems. But even if you do, you can solve it by doing what I just said. Trimming off like I did. But before you trim off, always check if it's fine. If it's fine, you go ahead and trim off. Remember to like this video, like and share, subscribe please. Thank you. And now we're going to join the sides. Okay, we're joining the sides by 1.5 inches because that's the allowance we kept. I would open it up, as in I'll join it from the facing. All of my other rough edges, I'll pull it towards the facing, making sure that my armhole, both my front and my back armhole, match each other. I would even have to pin it up if possible. You have to pin it up to keep it in place so that they align, and then you sew. Okay, this is how it looks finally. I've not bent the hem. I'll bend the hem and a child will fit it. It's meant for my kids, two of them. They'll fit it and then you'll see how it looks. They actually wore it to church. So you can do this and Sunday wear is out of your neck that week for that Sunday. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the video. Thank you so much. Here are the two models I got for the dress. My two beautiful models. And this is how it looks. It's beautiful. And I had to put this red ribbon at that point where the kids pleat begins, to make it a little, to add a little beauty to it. Thanks for watching. Bye.